said that he's not going to be able to make it today. Just, letting you guys know in case you guys didn't see that. Or at least his
Ready
reaction.
as I'm gonna be.
Alright. So, does everyone remember what happened last session? Or who wants to lead the recap is how I should say it. Do you want me to lead the recap, or?
It was more nature.
More nature? Okay.
Ari was very angry the entire session.
Understandable. Ari, not Ari.
Both. No, I'm
Oh.
just kidding.
Alright.
And, we almost didn't murder anybody.
Yeah, almost. Don't worry, you guys did get to murder some people. That saved the session, obviously. So
You have to have at least one death a night.
oh yeah, no.
Even if it's a bug.
Yeah, it's like a Dothraki wedding. If no one dies at a wedding, it's a bad wedding.
Exactly.
So
Hey, in my games, usually the ones dying is y'all. So
y'all, Ari is slowly asserting more power over the goblins. It's great. It's always good. Always fun. Always a little bit goofy.
I like my minions.
Me like minions as well. I loved how that was originally just going to be a joking side point. Now it's going to just officially become plot point because you know what? Ari gets her minions. Alright, so at the end of last session, you guys got this map that Udabrask built for you guys so that you guys didn't have to spend more time making the map. And it leads you guys towards the capital city of Canadisil, towards the center of the islands. Now, you guys aren't there yet. You guys are currently still next to Maple to Maple. That's where we left the session off at. Was you guys are seeing Maple to Maple. The sproutling tree that's grown up a bit since, the time in the dreams and the trial. And you guys are now able to follow the map towards Canadisil and, whatever you find along the way. So, is there anything you guys want to do at camp real quick before you start kind of traveling through villages and stuff and kind of on the off-beaten path? Or do y'all want to kind of jump right into that?
Did you want to try to do, because you tried casting locate object at the end of last game? Were you still going to try and do
I
that?
said I was going to do that if he started to do something shady.
Oh, I thought you
But
did put the coin in his pocket.
Oh, I put the coin in his pocket in case we need to intimidate him later.
Yeah.
And then Ari lit off a firework, and you decided to murder everybody. So I think he's thoroughly
he got
intimidated.
out. No, yeah, he's intimidated. He's good. No, he's fine. He's out of there. But that was like 50.
Intimidated, so I don't need to do more to him.
Yeah. That was like 20 to 50 years ago. So you don't know where he is. He might be dead. He might be in the city. He might have a loving wife and kids. Y'all don't really know. Again, the timeline's a little bit fucky, but
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Me and the minions gathered up all the little bits of armor and stuff.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey with lots of armor. Understandable. So.
Yay.
Hold on, let me double check. I keep attentively reading my notes because I actually have a bunch of notes this time. Alright, so Udabrask kind of, points at the map and he just says, I think it's time to head towards your city. And there's a couple villages that might, help along the way with supplies. It's about a 7 days walk to the capital, according to this map. So,
I want to ask him if there's any dangers along the way.
He looks at the map, and he looks at you, and he says, there shouldn't be many dangers along the way. Just typical wild animals and, potentially some poachers, but along this path, following the map, it shouldn't have anything too dangerous. Just, as long as you keep watch at night.
And when he says poachers, I look at him. I'm like, what about lumberjacks?
He chuckles and he is like, oh, there haven't been many lumberjacks since. Anyone else has just been shot with an arrow. Mostly freelance lumberjacks.
And I give Mabel a pat on the branch, and I'm like, there you go, buddy.
Mabel the Maple smiles and gives you a little sappy hug. So,
I just want to offer a bar of like pumice-based soap, just in case. Sappy hugs are messy.
yeah.
I graciously accept it. The condom only works so far.
Alright. So, as you depart from Mabel the Maple, and Udabras kind of helps lead the party with, who would like to kind of, lead with the map out of curiosity? Or,
What type of terrain are we passing through?
you guys are just going to be going through a normal forest for the
Okay.
rest of the way, so it's not going to be like treants specifically. You're just following with Udabras, and he's just going to kind of help navigate you guys around, any known like hunting spots or poacher spots or anything. Because now that y'all have the map, he can, kind of lead you there and help a little bit more than if he was just kind of blindly doing it.
I mean, hold on. It's not really a ship, so it's not really proficient with anything like that. I mean, would that be survival?
It would be like survival. I mean, you'll have a map. I'm just saying, who wants to lead the pack? It's not.
Well, for me being a ranger, I am very unproficient in nature. Like the most unproficient in nature. I don't nature good.
Two people who do not do nature, understandable.
Yes.
You specialize in another type of nature.
Well, see, that I think I do good in nature, and that's why it took Cerberus chewing half my arm off before he finally, came around.
Yeah.
I'm
I
small
think
and
I'm good at
crunchy.
nature. I'm
I
just
know I
terrible at
don't
it.
nature.
I'll do a nature check if you want me to.
Oh, I wasn't saying like nature checks. I was just saying like, does anyone want to like lead the pack? Like,
Oh, I'll take point.
okay, that's all I
Yeah.
was trying to ask. Is like, dude,
Yeah.
who wants to like lead?
Yeah, I'll take point.
Okay.
I don't mind. Do I have Pidgey and Cerberus with me?
You'd have Pidgey. Cerberus just kind of tends to stay on the boat. You guys are pretty far from your main vessel. I don't think Cerberus would have liked canoes with lots of wildlife around, because I think Cerberus would have gotten a little bit hungry.
Yeah. So I would just ask Pidgey to keep an eye out around us to make sure we don't get ambushed or anything.
Alright. So, as you're kind of, holding the map with the Udabroska next to you, the first night's pretty simple. You have to pass over a couple rivers, but Udabras just, does some weird tree hippie magic and kind of extends some roots so you guys can cross pretty comfortably without any difficulties. And you guys are able to set up camp for the first night next to some simple trees. Nothing's too sketched out, just, you guys hear some wildlife in the distance, but nothing seems to be getting too close to the camp.
When do we get to the complex trees?
I don't know. Maybe once you hit level 4 or 5 in tree knowledge. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe when the trees hit like level 5, they'll become complex trees.
Hey, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no, understandable. So,
Lai, how'd your character die? I asked about complex trees.
It has to take a shit in character.
Understandable.
Oh God, please tell me you've seen that skit.
No, I haven't. I'm sorry.
Oh, continue. I will find it and send
Oh,
it.
thank you. Alright, so the first night you guys are able to set up camp very, very comfortably. But as y'all are setting up camp, you see Udabrosk pull out the cauldron again. And Lysmith, he hands you a little note.
He pulls out the cauldron. I pull out my cocktail shaker. I'm like, "Are we doing this?"
He just gets he just kind of smirks at you, and he passes you a note as well.
Gordon gets up, nods, and just leaves. But before he does, he picks up Ari and puts her right next to Udabras,
Yeah.
just for safekeeping,
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
and walks off.
And I immediately I look at Udabras and I'm like, "What do we have for garnishment?" And I just kind of like walk around the campground, and I'm like picking up like things and like putting them in my mouth to see what they taste like, and I'm like walking around the campsite trying to find stuff to do my biddings.
Alright, he hands you a little note with stuff for your cocktails, and if you ever want to, do something fun for yourself, but he just slips you a note, but he waits for Torden to come back with the ingredients that he enlisted Torden to get. Does anyone want to look at the ingredients Torden gets or nah?
Sure.
Okay. As Udabras is just kind of smirking at Ari, he has the rest of the party come over to look at what he had Torden grab. It's just normal vegetables.
I'm just sitting there with my arms crossed, looking really, really not happy.
Udabras
Slightly
just
terrified, maybe, but not happy.
Udabras just starts chuckling. It's okay, little goblin. I am just preparing normal food. No drugged adventures today. But he makes sure to tap on the pot, just signifying this is the same pot. But he assures you it's very well cleaned.
I just look over suspiciously. Like, I'm not sure I trust this.
So, after a couple hours, Udabraska enlists Torden's help to kind of help prepare the vegetable soup. Udabras doesn't tend to eat a lot of meat, but, he's adventuring with the party. So, he's not vegetarian per se, he just tends not to eat a lot of the meat. So, when he's with people, he makes sure to help, get some rabbits and some deer and some other things to, bulk up the meal for their party. But he definitely does do a couple prayers every time he eats a bowl of soup, just to honor the animals.
Mm-hmm.
So as the night kind of goes on, you guys are able to eat a nice hearty meal and rest up until morning of day 2 of the adventure. Jin, I'm assuming you're going to be a little bit tipsy as usual, but perfectly able to handle yourself.
I was gonna say that it would be bad if I wasn't.
Exactly, it's like you're in that right level,
Alcoholic.
Yes, you're a functioning alcoholic. You have to be drunk. If you're not drunk, you're anxious. Okay, and if you're anxious, you're going to make mistakes.
Or hurt people.
Exactly. We don't need Jin to throw the bottle at someone. Jin is a walking distillery.
Pretty much.
Alright. So, as it's day 2, Udabras kind of, quickly helps, pack up camp and starts leading the party with Jin following the map. And during the second day, you guys notice the environment slowly getting less wooded. There's less kind of forest and fauna as you guys are kind of walking. Previously, everywhere there's, a bush, giant, nice, lush tree, lots of moss. Now it's starting to get a little more civilized. You know, you're not at any roads yet, but you know, you see trails and stuff that Udabras kind of, you know, leads you guys on, so the journey's a little bit smoother. And you guys do this through just kind of progressively. It gets more like this throughout the next couple days. So a little bit of a skip after a couple days. We'll say it's like day 4. You guys happen across a kind of more dedicated road, kind of exiting the forest area. You notice that the trees are a lot more normal, if that makes some sense. Basically, if you think of like the other islands, how a tree would like normally look if you're just like looking outside, versus on this island the trees were a lot more lush, a lot more green. If you're familiar like IRL with back when there was more oxygen in the atmosphere, kind of like, you know, thicker trees, sturdier trunks, you know, a lot more luscious fauna. And that's basically kind of the thing. Yeah, so as you get kind of like deeper into the island, it starts to get a lot more natural, less druidic, more, you know, civilized, more human, less less pretty. not in a bad way yet, but you know, it just kind of the transition as you guys are walking through the map. And as you guys start to reach this road, you guys are able to look out and see a really nice kind of clearing that goes on for what looks to be, you know, miles. And, you know, there's some farms, some villages and stuff. And you guys all kind of notice a lot of the buildings are more, not modernized in like real life modern, but more modernized for the world. Because you guys have been like hanging around villages or in the forest. But this is like some stone buildings, you know, kind of like olden, you know, 1800s, kind of like sheds and like cobblestone. Does that make sense, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the building aesthetic in this kind of area. Is you're not at the city, but you're estimating about 3 days out from the city at this point. And it's about late to midday, mid to late day, so about like 3 o'clock ish. Just kind of looking at the sun. And you notice one of the larger buildings being kind of like a stone tavern next to a lot of like kind of ranch style homes and stuff. So this is definitely an outskirt area, but a little bit nicer than some of the villages. So, do you guys want to go into the tavern?
Yeah.
Jin instantly like more booze for this plot?
Yeah. I like don't even like hesitate. I just immediately like as soon as we go up, I just walk straight towards the tavern. Like I don't even like notice the sign. I just lean towards it, and like my body points towards the booze.
All right, so
He actually has permanently locate object on booze.
Oh yeah, no,
It's just
100%.
like a natural thing in his head.
All alcoholics do. So, as you open the door, you get a nice waft of some fresh bread, a lot of beer, a lot of ale. You smell some nice ciders made with some very nice fresh berries. Some stuff that you would have noticed in the forest, just kind of like different berries you would have tasted. And as you're kind of looking inside the tavern, you notice it's got people, but it's a lot more, it's a large tavern, but there's not a lot of people. It's about like a third capacity of what like the size would normally be. You know, there's only about like, you know, 15, 20 people in it for the size of a tavern that should be able to hold like, you know, 60 or 70. Which is a little bit odd, but, you know, it's midday, you know, there might not be a problem, but, you know, just something that y'all would kind of notice as you guys enter. Y'all want to kind of like look around or what?
I immediately go up to the bartender and start asking them about the locally procured berries and ciders and stuff like that. Like I want to increase my repertoire of alcoholic knowledge.
The bartender kind of turns around and gives a thank you. We have a large assortment of ales. We like to work with lots of the local folk here to get some assortments of ales. Hold on, give me 1 second.
And I want to put down like a small bag of coins and be like, keep them coming.
He looks down and he kind of, you see a smile just kind of, go from like that, haha, playful bartender, always smiling to a really odd, thankful smile. And he goes, oh, thank you. And he just kind of counts the coins. How much would you say was being there? Like, a gold or two or something? Or like how much?
Oh, I was thinking like 5 gold worth.
5 gold. Okay, 5 gold.
Yeah,
He's
I'm trying to make this guy's day.
He looks down at this bag of gold and he just thank you. And he just freaking pulls out all the like the biggest, nicest ale barrel, and he's like, you tell me whenever you need a refill. And I'll keep it coming, on the tap, unlimited. This covers like a month of rent easily.
And I'm like, perfect. And I just grab a glass and I sit back and I want to watch the happenings at the tavern and listen to like conversations and stuff.
All right.
And like, I keep like filling it up and handing it to like random people. Like if someone's glass is empty, I just automatically fill it up and hand them another one, trying to just keep people as inebriated as humanly possible.
Hell yeah, your specialty.
Yes.
You do get a little handshake though, real quick, from the bartender, and he says, "Thank you, sir. My name's Ibeck. I'm the owner of the tavern. I just like to work the bar."
Excellent. I like a man who keeps his business in front of him.
He nods, and you notice that he has some swords and axes in the back. Clearly a man who was once a fighter. Just from
I give him a nice sturdy handshake, and I pull my flask out because I'm assuming I probably have some like random fucking great whiskey in there, and I offer him a sip.
Yeah, he takes a nice sip of the whiskey, and he's like, "That's strong. I haven't had that brand before. Everything here's homemade, home brewed. If you catch my drift."
I'm just like, excellent, and I down another glass of the cider.
So, what else is it? What would everyone kind of like to do in the tavern, out of curiosity? So, Jin's kind of, chatting up the bartender, and, trying to chat up the patrons. Is there anything anyone else would like to do with the bartender or the people?
Was it a common inn? Like that type of cider, or what was it?
Probably yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I keep thinking you're trying to make a pun, and my brain can't tell, and it's confusing me.
Say it out loud.
Common insider. Yeah, the insider. Yeah. There's a pun there, and I don't know where you're trying to make it from. I know common insider.
Yeah, it's the video, Common Insider.
Oh. I haven't watched the video yet because I have the stream on.
You gotta say it with a really thick Irish accent.
Okay.
The Irish or Scottish?
Scottish.
Either one works.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But one of the best things is, you can usually have it delivered to your front or back door. It's just nice overall.
Yeah. Alright.
Or was it Australian?
It was Australian.
Yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't Irish. It was like a Australian accent. Yeah.
Alright, so you see Ibeck, the bartender, polishing his glasses as some people walk into the tavern, a little beaten up, but not anything too crazy. They seem to just have had a little mishap on their journey. And they just kind of, raise up 3 fingers to kind of signify, yep, 3 ciders. And they just kind of go sit in one of the back booths. Clearly tired from a long night. So, Jin, would you like to listen in on them, or any of the party want to go up to them, or?
I was gonna say I'm gonna hang back because I probably would have seen them come in and saw that they were kind of a buzzkill.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna wait for them to get a couple drinks in before I approach them. I need them to loosen up a little bit before they get the full gin and tonic experience.
Yeah. All right. So, over about 5 minutes, they're just kind of breathing a little heavy, kind of head on the table, just God damn it, that was a long night. And once they start, first round of ciders, they down in 3 seconds, just to try to get it in, get it fast, and just instantly they want another round. And within about 10 minutes, they're a little bit intoxicated. It takes a while for that stuff to kick in. But you start hearing them kind of talk about what happened the night prior. And they're saying, man, I know the caravans are, ran by some shady people, but I mean, I'm just a caravan rider. I don't do anything like that. And just, it was so quick. The arrows, they're whistling in the wind. And they're just kind of bitching to each other about what seems to be their caravan got attacked through a trap.
So, as he's saying this, I slowly make my approach, and I want to interrupt as he's saying it was so quick, and I'm like, I know a plant that can help for that, and that's how I make my introduction.
You just see him kind of turn his head, and he says, "Hi, who are you?"
Don't worry about it. You said you were having problems coming too quick or something?
He said, "No, I mean we had a really hard job last night."
Oh, I know all about hard jobs, buddy. I got things I can do. But once this cider makes the noodle go limp, they can fix that right up for you.
The guy just starts chuckling, and he's like, "Hey, you got some humor on you, for a tiefling, name's Bob."
And I slap him on the shoulder and introduce myself. I'm like, I'm Jim. You guys, you look like you had it a little rough. I was gonna give you some time to settle in before I came over and hit you with my bullshit. But what's going on with you guys? You look like you could use a hand.
Well, I mean, we're not really supposed to talk work, NDAs and all, you know how them lords are.
That only happens if you get caught.
Oh yeah, that's how the lords work as well. They're getting a little bit tipsy, and they're slurring their words a little bit. Alright, so what did you need, Mr. Jin?
Oh, I don't need anything. I am good. We got open bar all night. My people just got into town. We're kind of settling in. But you guys kind of killed the mood as soon as you came in, so let's fix that.
I mean, it was, I mean, there ain't really much I need done at this point, I'm probably going to get fired the next day because our caravan got looted by some guy with a bow. And you notice they have some insignias kind of on their outfit. It looks like kind of a worker's uniform, but you kind of notice one of the insignias on it. It looks a little familiar to something you saw in the dream and on some paperwork. A little bit different, but Jin, you'd probably pick it up pretty quickly, looking at them insignias, and you're right next to them. It looks like they're not specifically working for Frelnor, but kind of like an offshoot company. So it looks like they're like a like just what would it be like logistics workers, you know, they're not, you know,
Yeah.
they're not doing
It's
the
like
shady
DHL.
shit. Yeah, like they're just low tier grunts, you know, they're not really working for the guy, they're just kind of like, you know, the contract workers of the contract workers of the contract workers, they're subcontractors by 3 degrees type shit.
DHL gets caught transporting massive amount of marijuana across state lines and didn't realize it. What?
Yeah, basically. So they're just average caravan riders, you know. They're not bad folks specifically, but you know, they're not doing the most savory work.
I kind of I try to get the party's attention to let them know that we need to pay attention a little bit over here. Not like
Jordan has been trying to
overtly.
listen in. Jordan was trying to listen in, but not doing so well at it. But I have a
It's
feeling
just
that seeing the very like small like, hey, come here with the hand, Jordan would probably end up walking over.
Okay.
Oh, also, Jordan would probably end up trying to get a beer from the tavern keeper, but he would probably just point at a small keg and say, how much?
He just kind of shakes his head, and he's like, "No, free," and he just hands you the keg, you know, no money, you know. He points to the gold that your friend handed, and you see him kind of like try to write it down because he can tell that you kind of can't listen very well, and he's like, "Free booze, friend paid already, free bar open, whatever."
I can
And you see
imagine him,
Jordan
like
just
taking
kind of
out
like,
a good.
you just see Jordan kind of grab it, put it on the counter, look at it for a second, and then just like grab the top with his fingers and pull the top off.
Yeah.
And then just like walk around like that, drinking it with one hand, like one would like a can of beer. You know, it just have everybody just kind of look at him and go, "Oh, right, Goliath." I had to forget about that on occasion.
I want to think that like Ari has like a contraption to mount a handle onto a keg for him.
Oh my god, Ari really would make something like that for him.
I could see it in real
Probably
life
could.
too. Like a handle, like a leather strap handle that like just wraps around the keg and tightens down with a buckle so he can hold it.
Pretty much what I was thinking, actually. Yeah.
So
Love it.
you see the workers just kind of start to kind of lay down in their seats. They're on a booth and they're just kind of leaning up against the wall, just chugging as much cider as they can while they're, you know, in between their gasps for air as they're kind of falling asleep. But do you have any questions for them, or do you kind of are like, you know, they've proven their usefulness to, you know, what they're gonna have.
I would actually like to push for more information on their situation, how they got attacked.
Okay. So
And just kind of try to persuade some information out of them.
okay. One of them's a little more awake than the other, and he's like, "So, what were you trying to ask?"
Who was it that attacked you? You said it was a guy with a bow, and I'm gonna hit him with that persuasion check right there.
He just kind of looks at you, and he's like, I mean, I think it's a guy. We were just stopped in the middle of the road near the forest, and there's some trees or something in the road. And then we got out to try to move it, and then you just see him just kind of, his eyes just start staring at the table and the booze, and he's like, it was fast. That's the best I can describe it. I don't know who it was. I've heard a lot of rumors about some guy with a bow in the woods attacking our company's caravans, but I mean, it's weird. He spares everyone who doesn't have something. I don't really know. Just he's always kept the merchants alive, the logistics workers alive. You know, the soldiers he's killed in an instant, just arrows flying. The only tell that we can know it's him is there's some whistling with the arrows that he has. It makes a weird sound as it's flying through us. It caves into their skulls. Their blood just drips into the soil like a crimson dawn.
And as he's saying this, I'm like, keep going.
It's just like completely tweaking out as he assumed that he was gonna get murdered last night. And it's like, yeah, murder, bloodshed, cool. You know, keep it going. Yep. You know,
and I'm like,
you'll get used to the PTSD.
And I'm like, I like, as he's sitting there, I'm like, I assume I'm like mixing a drink with my finger and like, you know, not getting completely turned on, but slightly turned on as he's describing everyone getting killed around him.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
I want to ask him more about the company he works for now.
Okay.
And I want Narza. Is Narza nearby?
Yes.
Okay. I want to make sure that you're nearby to listen to this part. Because I want to try to pry information about the company he's working for out.
So he looks at you and he's like, "Well, the company, it's a little interesting. We just are contractors, but one of our clients, they like us moving a lot of cargo around. You know, I don't know what's in there. All I know is don't shake it too much. Don't worry about what's in the cargo."
And I want to hand him a drink of my good whiskey, and like a little sip, and I'd just be like, "Come on, you've never taken a peek."
he looks at you and he's like, I wasn't supposed to look.
I know you're never supposed to look, but you know you did. Everyone does.
You see him sweating bullets as he's like, I was told it was important goods. I was told that it was goods that were supposed to be locked and kept in the box. It's supposed to stay in the box.
So, what's in the box?
You said roll him a persuasion check to just see if he'll fucking tell you. This dude like feels like he's gonna get shot for what's in the box.
What's in the box?
I fucking love that movie. Okay. His sweating's there, and he's like, "You seem like a nice guy, you know, you have a lot of booze.
I'm a nice guy.
You're a nice guy who's, you know, probably morally gray enough." He's just sweating, and he's like, well, I signed up to move normal cargo like booze or metals or swords, maybe some livestock, and a couple times I was told that, you know, we're doing a livestock run, and this is my first run, or third, I don't know, I kind of lost track. It didn't sound like livestock. I opened it up, and there were people in there. I don't know what they were doing in there, what they were used for, but they didn't look.
And at this point, I'm gonna pull out the wheat killer.
He's just sitting there sweating, and he's like, I didn't know when I signed up.
And I
just
look at him.
To work logistics. I was supposed to work logistics.
We're just talking. Were they in chains?
He nods.
When you delivered them, where did you deliver them to?
Usually some outposts. Usually some places where Frelnor would keep his people.
Women and children?
He looks up in tears.
And I move Wheat Killer to his nuts. And I say, answer the question.
He looks at you very specifically, and with a tear, he says, only children.
And I stand up and walk over to Thornton, and I'm like, I just kind of grab him on the shoulder, and I give him a look. And it's just this completely devilish grin. And I'm like, we got work to do, buddy.
And Torrance would reply with one question. Violence?
And I want to look over at Narza and see what he says.
Violence.
So there's one guy passed out, right?
Yeah, one of them's passed out. The other guy's just like pissing himself in his seat, just assuming that you were gonna like kill him for it, because he was just a logistics worker. He just looked in the box. He wasn't supposed to look in the box. It was just supposed to be a normal job.
Don't
He
worry,
was
we're not gonna
honest, and that's
kill
why he
you.
still has his nuts.
Exactly.
And I tell him that. I'm like, you were honest. That's why you still have your nuts. Now tell us who set up the shipment. And at this point, like, if there's any other patrons in the tavern, like, I look at them, I'm like, you all got the drink for free.
None of the patrons give a shit. No, none of the patrons give a shit. No.
Unless people are watching, like, if people are watching, we're making a scene.
Ibeck's just cleaning his glass, and he's just smiling. Ibeck doesn't give a shit. He does not like the caravan workers.
Okay, I don't want to fuck up his business.
No, Ibeck was gonna talk to you about this stuff, but instead, you went straight for the source instead of through Ibeck. Ibeck was gonna tell you all this. He's just smirking.
And I want to take the guy who's passed out.
Yeah.
And we're gonna relocate him to
Ibeck just claps. Ibeck like just kind of snaps his fingers and points up, and he says, "Top floor to the right. Already had an associate cleaning out a couple rooms for you lads."
And I take
actually...
the guy. Good.
Yeah, Ari is just sitting there with her teeth bared, listening at all of this. Just like looking particularly angry.
So I want to take the guy who's passed out, and we're gonna put him upstairs in a bed.
Okay.
But we're going to secure him. Not necessarily like hogtied, but he's tied to the bed, so he can't leave if he wakes up. And I wanna talk to our friend here, Mr. Sweaty Pants. And I wanna learn more about the human trafficking that he's been doing. And I want him to know that, like, I'm not going to hurt him, but I am going to hurt a lot of people that he has worked for.
He nods. Like he doesn't like this. This isn't what he signed up for.
Yeah.
And you guys can kind of assume from like the insignia that since it's a subcontractor's insignia and not specifically like Frelnor and Company's kind of insignia, it just is like an offshoot one. That's the only reason he's alive right now.
Yeah.
So
pretty much.
Yeah. So he's pretty loose lips right now about this stuff with you. With whatever you want to ask.
Is Daniela around?
What's up?
Is Daniela around?
No, Daniela's on the boat.
Oh.
she
I was gonna say, you want to have some fun with him?
Oh, Daniela would just kill him probably. and then fuck his corpse. I don't know.
Right.
Daniela's a freak. So, he's sitting a little anxiously in the other room with you guys because you guys have a couple rooms. The one guy who's asleep is in one room, locked or whatever. You guys are in another room right now for some privacy for some privacy with your companions is how Ivic words it. And gives you an extra lock.
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case. And he also hands you, some metal, some fire starter because there's not a furnace in there, but fireplace, some stuff for persuasion, just in case.
And he hands it to me, I just get like this shit-eating grin, and I'm gonna give him another 5 gold.
Ivic takes it and slides it.
You were the best innkeeper ever, and I just hand like I want to say like I seductively like put it in his waistband.
Ivic chuckles and he just takes it. He gets that you're just kind of playing with him, but he's chilling. You see him kind of put a thumb behind him to a picture with a wife, but a wink.
And then I want to look at the party and like, we're doing this, right?
Yep.
And I say we head upstairs and we have a conversation with this young lad.
All right, so we're gonna be intimidating the one who's asleep, and like wake him up,
the
or
one
the guy
who's
who's
asleep.
awake. Okay.
The one who's asleep, the way I want it to kind of look to the one who's awake is that we took him and he has no idea what happened to this guy.
Okay. So he's just in another room then.
Yeah, he's just in another room tied to a bed. It just looks like we took him out back and murdered him.
Okay.
But he's 100% alive, asleep in another room, nursing the terrible hangover he's going to have because he drank so much cider and had no idea how much sugar it has in it.
Yeah. All right.
The other guy, we're going to use that scenario to intimidate him that if you don't want to end up like your friend who was useless and didn't want to talk and drank too much, then we'll go from there.
All right. So you guys enter the room with him, and he's sitting in a. Would you want him in a comfortable chair or a hard wooden chair? What kind of chair are we talking for him? Is he gonna be sitting, or is he gonna be tied up to a chair?
He's just gonna come in and sit at a normal, like it's like a normal table, like like how they have like a small
table and a
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like a small table, and just I want to sit down next to him, and whoever else wants to sit down and listen in. And I want to tell him, like, if you're honest and you don't lie to me, you will be fine. Your friend drank too much, didn't want to talk, we had to get rid of him. But you still have options.
Alright, give me 1 second. Alright. Alright, sorry about that. Can you repeat that? I'm sorry, I was dealing with something else real quick.
No problem. I'm just letting him know that for all intents and purposes, he thinks the other guy has been executed because he was useless, and we're trying to fish information out of this guy. But I tell him, like, you'll live if you're honest, and you don't hold anything back. Tell me everything you know about the human trafficking.
He nods, and he also clears his throat, and he's like, it's not just humans.
I know.
He nods.
Does he know Thieves' Cant by any chance?
I don't think he'd know thieves can't. He's just his typical logistics worker.
Okay. So
He's
he
not a
literally
rogue.
does not know about any of this shit.
No, he
So,
really doesn't know much. All he knows is that he looked in the box. He knew the company did some shady contracts sometimes, but that's just why it paid well. He didn't think there would be human trafficking, but what's he supposed to do? Like, he looked in the box when he wasn't supposed to, and then he's supposed to say that he looked in the box and get killed? No, he had to keep working it like nothing happened. Yeah.
So, like, during this time, like, I'm working him over. Like, I use, like, phrases in Thieves' Cant to see if he knows it.
Yeah, no,
and, like, when he has that totally bewildered look on his face, I'm like, okay, this guy's a complete fucking idiot. He's literally just a driver.
Yeah.
We need as much information out of him as possible.
Yeah. All he knows is he's just a basic grunt.
I know Thieves Cant, so I could probably translate.
No, I'm using Thieves Cant to see if he is a rogue or a person that would be tied to those networks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm basically interrogating him, but using another language to see if he knows it.
Yeah, because even if you, if you know it, you'd make some kind of remark, like, you know, your eyes would twitch, or, you know, if you're looking really closely.
Yeah, there would be something, a telltale that he knew what I said, because it would be something like, "I'm gonna fuck your mother's corpse."
Yeah. He'd look at you really weirdly. Like, what?
Yeah. Exactly. Like, that's the type of shit I'm saying to him, trying to get him to see if he's connected more. But it sounds like he's just, unfortunately, someone who got paid to do a job and didn't read the fine print.
Yeah.
Or read the fine print and broke the fine print.
Yeah. He read the fine print, broke the fine print, realized why the fine print was there, and then he was in a really shitty situation where he was getting paid a lot of money, and then heard that a lot of people were getting murdered. And he just prayed that he wouldn't be the unlucky one.
The contract last night, was that people?
He nods. He says, the man with the bow, he tends to come specifically when it's, the livestock, missions, but usually he attacks the more valuable ones. Usually it's every couple nights where we'll have a livestock run, since obviously the cargo is a lot harder to source.
I asked him when his next mission.
Character.
What's up?
Out of character. Is it would it happen to be a member of the collective?
Perhaps. If you catch my drift. That's why I'm kind of laughing, because originally y'all were supposed to get all this info from Ibeck, but now you're getting it from this guy, so, like, you're actually advancing the plot a lot faster than I planned, but honestly, I like it.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. No, there's still stuff Ibeck's gonna tell you, but, you know, basically he's gonna clean up whatever this guy doesn't finish explaining, and then let y'all kind of go towards the end of the session. So, that's what I'm saying, I'm just laughing. So, he's just kind of responding. What were you trying to say, though, Ramrod?
I just want to ask him when his next livestock shipment is.
He kind of pulls out, like, a little, notepad. It only goes, like, up to a week, and he starts looking, and he says, tomorrow's some jewels, tomorrow, the next day is some bread, some food, resources, livestock, but he looks at the livestock and he just kind of sweats, and he's like, that one's actual livestock, and he kind of points to a little marker, and he's like, the livestock that's actual livestock, and he points to it, he's like, that's some cattle, that's some pigs, at least from my understanding, but the next one that I know is don't look in the box, is, usually they send that to the new guys, to kind of, you know, indict us with, criminal activity. It should be in about 5 days on a Friday. There should be a livestock run. And
I wanna talk to the barkeep And is there like a hearty stew and like bread that they would possibly serve?
Like at a tavern?
Yeah, like some sort of like hearty meal that I can give this guy because I want him to start sobering up. And
Yeah,
start.
Ibeck just
talking.
hops in the back of the kitchen, whips up something, a nice stew with some meat as a kind of allegory to his friend and shit, but also some bread and some other stuff, and he brings it up.
Would just question for the DM? Would you consider like cure wounds or some sort of poison dispelling spell to remove intoxication?
I would say probably cure wounds would be like a band-aid, but I think cure poison would probably at least remove most intoxication. Like, I don't think it would fully sober you, but it would take away like the really, really bad effects of it.
Enough where I can start getting reliable information out of them. Okay, I don't have cure poison.
The barkeep.
That's why I specifically asked cure wounds.
Yeah, no, cure wounds would be more like helping with the hangover symptoms versus removing the symptoms.
Yeah, because I want to get the most reliable information out of this guy as possible because I want him to start sobering up so the fear side starts taking a little more control, so he talks more. But I also want to make sure he's not
pretty
rambling.
loose. He's pretty loose-lipped right now. Like he's a bit scared, but he is a little tipsy enough to like just be talking, and he's just done with it. He's just assuming he's gonna die at some point.
Have we pretty much got all the information we can get out of him?
Probably. The most is like you guys could probably set up a rendezvous point, but Ibeck was gonna be able to probably set that up with you regardless. So if you want to move over to Ibeck, you can. If you want to keep working with this guy, you can try to work with him a little more. But I don't know what else he'd have.
I'm gonna go upstairs and I'm gonna wake his buddy up.
All right. All right. Alright, so, as you kind of open the door, you see that his face is a little bit, different. You see a bunch of, carved letters into his, face, spelling slaver. A lot of blood loss, but, he's alive. He's just he's not having a good time.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast Cure Wounds on him.
All right.
Just to stop the blood loss.
Yeah, the Cure Wound stops the blood loss, but it's definitely gonna leave a scar.
Oh yeah. And
I was gonna say let's assume that certain minions were instructed how to make sure it would scar.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I would just make sure he survives.
Yeah, no, he survives. His mouth's been bound and gagged so that it wouldn't be too loud for you guys, The minions were very thoughtful to not interrupt the interrogation in the other room.
You see, I feel bad because, I have a bag of salt in my bag. That's what I was going to use to make sure you didn't bleed out, but I guess that works.
Yeah. You can do both.
I mean, yeah. Put the salt on and then I'll cure wounds over top of it.
Yeah.
So it embeds
Ari
it inside
starts
its skin.
looking very pointedly in the other guy's direction.
He's just sweating. He's like, oh, okay.
And
Pulls
with him
out a
woken
file,
up,
starts sharpening her claws. Right, turned to face him.
and with the other guy woken up, I want to put him. I'm assuming they're upstairs with us.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they are.
So I put the bowl of soup down and the bread, and I'm like, "You two need to sober up. We're gonna talk in a little bit." And I look at I can't remember the name of the one that we were talking to, the one that wasn't passed out. And I look at him and be like, "If you don't want that to happen to you, you need to make her very happy." And I just walk out of the room.
Big toothy grin.
He's more scared of Ari now than you because you know you gave him some booze. You know you cure wounds. Ari
Cheered him
just
up.
bled them and carved into their flesh as they're screaming, alive and awake.
Well, yeah, that's how I keep my
Minions
charisma
for
up.
that.
I don't have the guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she feels no guilt whatsoever for
Yeah.
it.
She'll fillet him and gladly do it.
Dude, anybody who's going to ship kids around in a box? No, she. Mm-mm-mm-mm. That's a sore point for her, and she will not have it.
Yeah.
And good luck finding any place to live, let alone work, with what she just did to the first guy.
Mhm. Oh, and that's why I left the room, so you can do whatever you want to the second guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All
They
right.
are alive. That is my stipulation.
She's probably cracking her knuckles right now. I assume.
So
I was just gonna wait and see if he continues to cooperate, but
he's
probably not
thoroughly
getting out unscathed.
cooperative. He's thoroughly cooperative. He does not
Yeah.
want to be marked.
Oh, he's gonna end up marked, but if he cooperates, it might be somewhere that it won't be seen by everyone.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a tramp stamp branded into his fucking
No.
lower back that says slaver.
Think girl with the dragon tattoo.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That sounds familiar. I don't.
They made a
Oh.
movie of it, but you read the book, and she was a lot more vicious in the book.
Very. It is a good, like, open a fucking bottle of wine and watch. They only did one movie, right? Or did they do two? Because it's 3 books.
Yeah, I don't know if they did a second movie or not, but I know there was a trilogy of books, and
Yeah. The books are amazing. The movie,
you
get
couldn't
the
blame
point.
her in the least for what she did.
yeah.
So yeah.
So I want to move over to the barkeep,
All right.
and he obviously knows things have been happening,
Yeah.
and I want to push to get as much information as possible. Like, he was facilitating all of this, so I'm assuming he was pushing for us to find out
Yeah.
once he figured out what we were.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
He sits you guys down at the bar, and he quickly, you know, sends the rest of the patrons out of the tavern. He's like, "Sorry, guys, business," and closes the tavern down for the rest of the night. There weren't too many patrons, so it wasn't a problem, and most of the patrons look at Ibeck, give him a little nod, and then leave. It sounds like Ibeck, you know, kind of in this area is a little important. You know, he keeps his shit close to home. Doesn't like a lot of outsiders too often, but you guys seem chill, so you know he's gonna. Obviously, you guys are chilling the way he likes. So he shuts the door and he sits down at the bar. And he starts making himself a gin and tonic as, you know, a kind of acknowledgement to your skills. And he goes, "Well, that was interesting." So.
and I look at him and I go, I find it's easier to get the proper information when the windpipes are properly lubricated.
Of course. A nice loose lip is always easier to talk with. So, he's kind of looking around, looks at you guys, and he nods, passing everyone a nice cider, kind of moves one of the tables and a couple of the stools to sit down with you guys. And he just kind of crosses his arms, and he's like, "Well, what kind of questions you got for me? I know you guys got a lot of information out of that guy up there. You know, I don't know how much more you're going to get out of one of the grunts, though."
We got enough to know that we needed to do something here.
Yeah, many people here have wanted to do something, but I mean, you saw how few people were in the tavern. You saw how much my eyes lit up from only a couple gold pieces. That would barely phase anyone in the capital or anyone in Frelnor's ring. Fucking bastard. You see him just kind of toss, some toothpicks at the wall, just flicking shit, just like, fucking, just bored as fuck, just tossing shit around, playing with it.
It's like,
yeah.
Are you feeling like you come downstairs and you're like wiping blood off of your nails?
Oh, absolutely. And
this
the dude
this
should
guy with
just
a
be
bow you
grateful that her
mentioned.
nails were clean
Yeah.
and sharp.
This
Go on, sorry?
I'm talking to the other guy. This hang on. Was this ranger by any chance a drow or anything?
Ibek looks at you and smiles a little bit, and he's like, I've heard they're a drow. Most people have never seen him. All he does is attack caravans, usually in the woods. His usual MO is whistling arrows, killing caravans, specifically on Boxing Days or whatever y'all want to fucking call it. Fucking pisses me off.
Climbs up on a stool so that she can actually like see the bartender and asks, "Yeah, any arrows left?"
He kind of rubs his beard and he thinks, he's like, I'm not. Maybe. Hold on. And he kind of goes in the back and he pulls out one of the arrows and he's like, I've had some of those caravan workers come in here, and all of them have told the same story. This is the arrow. They hit them in between their legs. Clearly a mercy shot to not kill them, but usually leaves them with some wounds in other areas. Those guys were some of the luckier ones. Well, until you guys came here.
She just grins and says, "Good," and takes the arrow to look it over.
You kind of look at the arrow. I don't know how this would really work in real life, but you know how when you like carve into an arrow and stuff, you can make it kind of make a whistling sound if you do like the right kind of curvature or whatever. Basically, it's just to like intimidate people. It's not really for function. It's more for just like kind of like like Native Americans, the whistling arrows and kind of stuff. That's the kind of vibe. It's more to intimidate, more to scare, more to kind of alert and send warning shots at people. They're very well crafted though. Like these arrows are like very well made, clearly handcrafted by a drow. You kind of notice some markings on it. It's like almost ceremonial, each arrow that he's kind of showing you. None of them are even damaged. They're not stronger than any ammunition you guys would have specifically, but it's just more like, it's well crafted, it's not gonna fuck up, it's just gonna, every shot's gonna work the way that you plan it to. A couple are a little more curved. Sorry.
That out to Narsa.
Narsa, you sorry.
That it looks like
Go
it
ahead,
was
go
made
ahead.
by a drow.
Yeah, and since one of your friends was a drow, Narsa, you'd recognize that some of the symbols on it are drow symbols specifically. It leads you to assume that, there's a high chance it might be him. You're not 100% sure, but this definitely leads you on the track that, someone from your childhood, someone from your past is, at least trying to make something happen over here. Not, not all of them, but someone is attacking these fucking assholes.
It definitely seems like Desil's handiwork. I'm not 100% sure if it is him, though.
Yeah. But
and I want to look at him very confused. I'm like, distill? Like distillery?
No, Desil,
Ah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
alcoholic. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So, as you guys are looking at the arrows, though, you're also kind of seeing some of the logs. I bet kind of pulls out a little logistics board, and he just kind of smirks and he's like, "Being the barkeep has some perks with some of the higher ups who like to come out in this kind of area outside the capital." And it's like a whole board of freaking cargo shipments, like not even just from the one company. You know, he's got stuff from like freaking, nobleman, from freaking, all the other shit, the freaking thieves guild, all this shit, all this info passes through freaking Ibeck. He's the fucking tavern keeper. He knows his shit. And he's like, "So, I'm assuming y'all want to get rid of some of those fuckers, right? Assume y'all have a reason." And he looks at Narza. I'd assume you'd have like some kind of insignia from like your home, or like a mark from like your parents from when they were in the town's guard. I'm assuming you'd have something on your shirt.
Sorry, what was that?
Yeah. No, I was just asking you, sorry, if you'd have something on Narza that would be kind of like an insignia or something from like when your parents were working the town guard or anything, or something just to kind of mark that you're from, the Drusen Isle, that kind of stuff. Just something to show that you're a resident or whatever.
Probably have sort of a. Let's see, up where probably a stylized D in the shape of the island.
Okay. So yeah, I just was wondering, because I just was gonna say, like, he kind of looks over at you and kind of smiles and notices you're a resident and the son of someone who was a town guard back in the day before Frelnor took power, because that's an old school insignia is basically the point. It's not a modern, normalized, updated one, because it's been a while. Frelnor's been in power for a while from his little area, and he just kind of took notice of that when he entered the bar, so he was already kind of a little more relaxed around you guys. So he pulls out some of the shipment data, the logistics of oh, this is when the next run is, and some other stuff, and he's just kind of smiling and sitting there. I was like, "So, what do y'all want to do? Because clearly we have some people with some beef with this lord. Might make it a little inconvenient for him if some of his shipments go missing."
I want to see, like, looking at the manifest and everything, I want to see if I can figure out where, if there's like, if we can hit one place in particular, or if we just gotta go in and tear this place apart, fucking board by board. Like, can we hit a hub? Like, does it seem like the human trafficking is coming out of one place, or is it all over the place?
So,
Ooh,
as you're looking
I
at,
have an idea.
what's your idea, Ari?
Ari's rubbing her little palms together and just giving the biggest grin. So she kind of pulls everyone in close, that just from our group,
Yeah.
and points out that if we find out when this next shipment is supposed to happen, we stop them, and we put her and her minions in the box. They're about child size after all.
Oh, holy shit, I didn't even think about that!
And I have a disguise kit I could.
Yeah, so you guys could swap places with the workers. Our
Oh,
buddy upstairs, if he knows what's good with him for him, will go
will
along with
facilitate.
us.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I have plenty of child-sized minions.
Oh my
I
god!
can fill up a box.
Oh.
How do we hide Torden though?
He's just one of the guards.
Yeah, he could be one of the
He's
guards.
hired labor. He's hired muscle because
He's
the
a new
caravans have been
hire.
hit.
He's the heavy lifting guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, if you think about it, the caravans have been getting hit constantly. It would not surprise people for a subcontractor to hire a little extra muscle.
Let's do it.
Because,
Let's do it.
an arrow is hard to pierce that kind of armor, especially from the MO of just, a couple shots, one or two to the head.
Or do we have Torden as a backup in the box in case something goes sideways?
He'd be too heavy.
Yeah, the box is child-sized. Nothing over like 4 or 5 feet would go in there.
Oh, I thought it was like
Torden's
a
just
more like a wagon, and they were just in the back of the wagon.
No, it's a literal box. It's blocked off, and it says "Do not open."
No.
It's like a shipping
I was gonna say,
container,
it
bro.
sounded more like a crate to me.
It's so
Can we
much
just see
worse. Not even
Torden
air holes.
Why?
They get air holes so they can breathe. You can't kill the cargo.
The livestock.
Yeah.
They're too scared to make a peep too.
Yeah.
So goblins are good at being sneaky. How do you think we survive?
I love it.
Please tell me you've seen the meme of like $1 to save a child, please, and it's like, oh my gosh, thank you. And they take the $5 and they just have the car roll up, and they're like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go, go, go.
Yes.
God, I fucking love that clip. Oh.
Because
You can blame
goblins.
life for
I thought it was because goblins breed very. They have a lot
Prolifically?
of litters.
yes,
Yeah.
but they're also treated like monsters in a lot of areas, at least in various game lore stuff. So they're exterminated whenever possible. If
Yeah.
they're smart enough to survive and live long enough to reproduce, they're probably pretty clever and pretty sneaky. So
So, as you guys are kind of planning this, you guys have noticed a really good hub location in a cargo run in the next 4 or 5 days. That should lead to one of the main hubs, where specifically the quote-unquote livestock is being exported. So, as you guys kind of look at the map and are kind of cross-referencing it, this map kind of shows that it kind of leaves out of Canadisil after some kind of like main shipments into the capital. Then it kind of takes the main road down 3 to 4 days, which links up to around this tavern area in the woods. And then it kind of heads more towards like the one of the cardinal directions, more like kind of the east, to kind of lead towards one of the major outposts that tends to lead out into the ocean to export the children to different locations. And Torden and Narza would actually kind of recognize one of these markings. Back on Island 2, do you guys remember the demon cult, where there were children in a basement? They had the same kind of markings for numbers and working stuff. This has been going on for quite a while, if they've had that much reach to selling to demon cults for child sacrifices and other uses.
presumably Ari has heard some of these stories by this point.
Yeah,
and
you guys would have heard
Listen
these
through.
stories on the boat, but Narza and Torden freaking nuked that little cellar real fucking quick. They assumed that I would assume you guys would have thought, oh, this is probably the end point, or they like bought and sold the children. This is the only time that y'all have heard of this plot point. But no. All those children, all that shit was coming from freaking this island, or at least one of these kind of networks.
Yeah.
Frelor doesn't like a lot of info getting out about the island, but he sure likes his money. Get your children, labor workers, or whatever else.
They're about to get a lot more than they can handle.
Yeah. So, as you guys are kind of looking at the map, you lock down the main cargo point. It's about a couple miles from you guys, so it's not too far.
I just sent you a message.
All right, let me read it real quick.
That's supposed to say smugglers, not smugglers.
Yeah, I know that.
I like Smeagolers more.
You know what's really funny? Ari can be hiding in the box with the other goblins and be out there helping y'all at the same time.
Yes. I love the Echo.
One of my favorite classes, not gonna lie. Like, the just utility of this. I love it. Yeah, and if we end up stuck in a box, like, she can call up her Echo and pry us out of the box herself.
I still want to see Gordon try to get into one of those boxes just for hilarity's sake.
Like, he like puts a foot in, and he's like,
looks down at it and goes, "Oh."
He kind of like scratches his chin and then pulls his foot out.
Okay.
Bait and switch, motherfuckers. I'm excited now.
Yeah. All right. So, as you guys are kind of drawing up the map, I'm doing something real quick with them, but you're kind of drawing up the map. You're getting the plan done. If y'all have ever played GTA 5, Lester, how he's like, all right, yeah, you got the board, you got the shit. We hooking everything up. We're getting the raid planned. Everyone have their world buffs. No, I'm kidding. Wrong game. Everyone's got their pots and summons or whatever.
Yeah.
You hear Ibeck just kind of lean back in the chair, though, after a couple hours of strenuous mapping and shit. He is not a cartographer, but, he fucking tries. He brings in a cartographer to help kind of, prep the plans with you guys. And he just goes, It's been a while since we've had people who actually try to get shit done here in the local area. I used to work as a soldier back in the capital before Frelnor and his company came around, but been running this tavern for a while, guys. Haven't had to pay many taxes. I was just grinding some land when I left. Been trying to keep everyone here safe. Even though it's a small town, we don't got a lot. We've only had about 20 to 30 patrons a day here, but, be able to keep food prices down. A lot of the locals like to sell their wheat directly to me and not the capital, but they can't usually. It just means a lot that we're going to be able to actually do something. I'm getting older, I only lasted in the military about 5 years with this axe. I came out pretty fine. But it just means a lot that we're going to be able to hit that fucker. Been keeping the flow of information gone for a while. We don't get a lot of visitors, so it's nice to see some friendly new faces.
I want to stay silent, but I want to look over at Narza and be like, what do you think?
You just see him kind of tearing up a little bit. Not like, sobbing, but, them kind of like masculine urged male tears. You know, that one tear down the right eye, you know. You know he's sad, but he's not gonna bawl his eyes out. Anything to
That
not
kind of
show
one where,
emotion.
like, that tear starts to crawl down his cheek, and he kind of scrunches up, and it crawls back up where it came from.
Yeah. Like the Cloudy and the Chance of Meatballs. Get back up there, tear.
I didn't say you could
That's
come out yet.
Yeah.
But as you guys are kind of finishing up the plans, he does say the locals call that ranger the Arrow of the Red Dawn because of the blood spilling out like a crimson sunrise. He'll probably try to hit your caravan. Just a heads up. If you guys are going to be wearing disguises. Oh yeah, Nebraska's chilling with you guys. He's just sitting in the bar, just kind of sipping some tea.
I want to look over at him, and I point to the red sun tattoo on my hand, and I just kind of give him an inquisitive look.
Nebraska shakes his head because that was not an intended.
Sorry.
No. that is a really funny coincidence. I didn't even plan that. No, I had a plan for it to be a mixture of something because we all know out of character. Out of character, we all know that it's probably the drow. But what was your question, Ari?
Would Ari have gotten on friendly enough terms with our nice little fluffy puppy to be able to ride around using it as a mount just yet?
Cerberus is on the boat right now. He's not with y'all right now.
Dang.
But y'all, you're probably gonna be able to ride him
right about now. It would have been useful because she could have sent her Echo to scout around while the box is moving and looked for this archer.
Let me think real quick. I said that the next cargo run is about in 4 days. I said it's about a week trip from where you were on the Fall Island. But the problem is you were having to travel a bunch. If you want to skip the next shipment, I will allow you to send out one of the characters to just kind of quickly navigate, run back to the boat. Y'all could grab, like, Daniela, if you want, with Cerberus.
What if we send Pidgey back?
Send Pidgey back? That would cut down on a couple days of transport time.
And then, because Daniela has wings, right?
Yeah. Then she could bring the... Okay.
Cerberus to us.
I don't...
If she's willing to do it.
The only thing is, okay, you guys would probably miss the first shipment, but the first shipment doesn't have to be
it would be worth it.
No. What I'm saying, okay, is you guys could still attack the shipment and MO and try to meet the Drow Ranger, and then...
I have an idea.
Yeah, okay.
Lie.
Yes.
You have locate object, right?
I do.
Alright. I don't know if this is metagaming. If it is...
No, you're good, you're
good. So... Me and Narza go on the first shipment, and we replace the two guys upstairs.
Okay.
We do nothing.
Okay.
We do nothing except for do the shipment, but we're going to use something for locate object to track the crates.
Okay.
So we can recover them eventually.
I mean...
But we're going to have to let this one go.
What I was going to say, though, is what you could do instead is you could just attack the cargo crate with the Ranger, because the Ranger's probably going to show up and attack the cargo crate, meet the Ranger, and then just attack the next cargo crate.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking, is that we're going to go on the first one and try to make contact with the Ranger. Yeah. So we're going to go in disguise self, we're going to have the kids... like all of them, some sort of object to track them. Like we're basically setting up a meet and greet with the Ranger, like no guards, no nothing. So that way, Or, maybe
Well,
hire
you know what?
like the shitty guy who's a bad stepdad.
Yeah.
You know what? If Torden is in on that one, Ari can hide in his bag and have her Echo scouting the whole area near you guys to look for the Ranger.
Yeah, because I want to meet up with the Ranger.
It keeps her body
Before
safe.
we start an attack. Like,
Yeah.
if we can somehow coordinate with the Ranger, since he's already doing a good job, and use this first shipment to do that, like, yes, we're going to push the shipment through, but when he attacks, we're going to basically surrender to talk to him.
I think that could work.
So y'all want to let the
I mean, if
shipment
Ari
through,
doesn't manage
or
to
do you want
find
to?
him,
So you don't want to nuke the shipment. You want to like let it through and just try to go talk to the Ranger instead, or I mean,
using the
basically
locate
stage
object.
it like it's another standard usual attack. Like
Yeah.
nothing's different than it has been recently.
yeah,
Let him do his thing. The Ranger's gonna come in and attack. We're gonna basically not attack him, so
Yeah.
we can try to come up with a discord between them, and then
And
use.
Ari can try to get over to him and tell him we want to talk.
Yeah, like we don't want to have a shipment of fake kids. Like
yeah,
it. I don't know how far. Like we need to use a real shipment, but we need to make sure the kids are still safe. So swapping the kids out with the goblin minions, and
it's
then
gonna be a one-time
working
thing.
that way. Yeah,
and it wouldn't work as well if the Ranger attacks that shipment.
exactly. So we need to make contact with the Ranger first.
Yeah.
So we can either one stop the next shipment or find a way to attack where all of it's coming from and drop the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Like,
he's trying to basically
guerrilla
stop
warfare
these shipments.
is good and great, but it's not an end game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is pulling in my driveway right now?
But yeah, if we manage to get him to talk with us when we do our bait and switch, that shipment manages to make it through and we get one
I'll be
step
back in a
closer to
second.
whoever's running this.
Okay. I think we're all on the same track, but I think the semantics of the specific like one detail is just kind of confusing me because I thought okay, I was thinking that you guys were gonna kill the shipment with the Ranger and try to make contact that way, but if you're gonna just let the shipment through so you guys can find some more information easier.
No, the Ranger. Okay, so with the first one, the one that's about to happen.
Yeah.
The Ranger's been basically stealing these shipments,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, he's quote unquote stealing the shipments, but he's just letting the kids
and
go.
getting the kids out of there.
Yeah.
We're trying to accomplish the same end.
Yeah.
If we make contact with him and let.
Oh, right, okay. You were
Act
saying
like
let
we're
the shipment.
fighting
I
it.
was confused when you were saying let the shipment through. I'm like, huh?
No, let him basically steal the shipment.
Yeah. Okay.
But make contact and coordinate and go, hey, this next shipment we're replacing.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
We are,
I was getting confused.
we're
I
gonna-
was like, you're gonna let the kids through and you can just nuke the first one?
No. This way we save the kids.
That's
still.
why I was so confused for like
But
a couple minutes.
Yeah,
I
but
was
then
describing it poorly.
Yeah, no. I could understand what you
yeah.
guys were trying to do, but my brain was just getting stuck on one part. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
and then the goblin bait and switch shipment would be the next shipment to come through. And he somehow misses that one and it actually goes through to whoever's running with it.
Yeah.
So we're setting up for a more end game like get at
strategy
least a
versus
step
just guerrilla
closer to the
warfare,
answer.
saving kids one shipment at a time.
Yeah, we're trying to bring down the
Exactly.
whole network.
Hell yeah. Alright, so as you guys have finished planning that, Ramrod, I'm assuming you send out...
Huh? Know the Ranger?
Huh?
Does the bartender know the ranger?
No, he's only heard rumors about him. He's never met the ranger.
Okay.
He's just heard testimonies from the caravan riders and people who've said, yeah, he's helping out kids, or yeah, he's helping out with the shipments. The most he would have had contact with is he's probably gotten, some goods or whatever dropped off at the tavern by the guy.
Okay.
But that's about it. It was just,
So it's a harmonious relationship.
Yeah.
That you don't have to worry about.
With no real proof of like, oh yeah, this is the mystery ranger in the woods.
Mhm.
Yeah. He'll just have a random shipment of stuff show up, or, he'll have some kids dropped off at the door, and he'll feed the kids and, try to send them back to their families. That's about it. He doesn't know anything about it. There's no actual contact. It's just, hey,
He
here's
just
some
knows
kids.
he's a good guy and he's trying to help.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
All they know, all the people call him is the Era of the Red Dawn. Because he helps out, but he definitely does it in a very bloody, helpful way.
I mean, being kind and being nice are not the same thing.
Exactly. And the only thing is his main MO is he does spare just typical workers, even though he does leave them really bloodied and brutalized. It's just his thing is if they're not like a soldier,
that you never get to have.
Huh?
With where he had been shooting them,
Yeah.
good, because people like that, if that's how they're treating children, should never have any of their own.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. So
I already like this guy.
yeah. So Ramrod, I'm assuming Jin would be sending out Pidgey to try to get, Daniela to bring Cerberus in to help with the raid.
Yes.
Alright. So over the next couple days you guys are, planning for the raid, and it gets to about an hour and a half before the first shipment, where you guys are going to try to make contact with the ranger. You guys see the road, and you guys are able to set up in one of the like tree areas, 30, 40-ish feet away from the road. Far enough that you're not going to really be spotted, because let's be real, these logistics workers, they don't really pay attention or give a fuck. They're paid good money, but the more money
blinders
you pay,
on, drive straight.
yeah.
So the goal for us at this point is basically join up with the caravan and convince them that, we're just more employees supposed to come help.
Or kill them and take the disguise.
That could work too, but we'd have to dump the bodies somewhere, and Ari is not going to have those inside Horton's bag of holding.
Cerberus.
That's her personal space.
Well, no. This is the first shipment, remember? The second shipment.
Oh,
is-
that's right.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're not killing them yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
We're
like, I
just
thought
joining
y'all
up.
were just killing, or we're just gonna watch him get murdered by the ranger.
I'm
Yeah.
not posed.
So
Yeah, we're just kind of hanging back, watching this shit show go down.
all right, so
Yeah.
Oh my god, can I have popcorn?
yeah, I was gonna say, like, get your popcorn, get your whiskey, get
Yeah.
your
Like,
your
hey,
snacks.
as soon as he starts like shooting arrows, I pull out my whiskey and I pull out some popcorn. And I'm just sitting on top of the caravan, like eating popcorn, watching it all go down, like just completely nonchalant.
Yeah. Ari has her body safely stowed in Torden's bag, but her echo is walking along staying with the group. And she's got her minions scouting through the woods a little further out. Just basically anybody who spots this person, let her know where to go.
Okay. So, as you're chilling at the rendezvous point, you guys are watching the road, and it kind of drags on for a while. You guys kind of look at your like equivalent of what a watch would be, and it's about like 8 o'clock at night. You're like, where's the shipment? And if anyone knows how logistics work, the shipments always fucking run late.
Always.
Always.
So it's an hour and a half late, and you guys are just kind of sitting there like, damn, this is a pain in the ass. We should have come later.
I'm just sitting there drinking. Like, I would have walked around the woods and like tried to find some psychedelics
or whatever.
Yeah. And I would have like regardless, I'd have been like sitting there like making mushroom tea or something and trying to get drunk and high, waiting for this to happen.
So, the shipment was supposed to be there at 6 o'clock, but it's at about 9 o'clock at night when you first start hearing, in the distant, some horses and a lot of noise. It sounds like most shipments sound like they have about, three caravans or whatever, 3 wagons with some armed guards and stuff. This one's a little bit bigger. It's about 5, so it appears they kind of mixed up a couple of the shipments, and it's a hybrid shipment now. It's not just the kids, but like some food, some supplies for some other stuff at the main outpost. You gotta get your food. You gotta keep the people fed for work. And as you're kind of looking at the road, you notice that it starts getting kind of a little bit muddy. And, like, artificially muddy. And you notice some tree kind of, like, logs start getting kind of placed in the road. It's kind of like a caravan trap. There's a lot of trees, and you notice that, like, some roots are starting to sprout out of the ground. Just enough that it's subtle, but, if a caravan goes head first, it's gonna freaking break a horse's leg and freaking just shoot the caravan off the side of the road. Because it's dark. And, as we all know, workers don't like to follow OSHA compliance of, this is the top speed on a road, this is what you're supposed to do.
Have dark vision, right?
Yes, goblins would have dark vision. This would be a dark vision type scenario. Swain would be fine.
Even more useful.
Ari would be good. Ramrod, Jin, I think has
it's like
has dark vision.
Yeah.
The only people I don't think have dark vision is Narza and Torden.
Correct.
Yeah. So we're already nerfing Torden even more because his vision's kind of shit right now. His hearing's
if he needs to see though, he can make it be light.
Oh yeah, let there be light. Lots of fire and lots of lightning.
Oh yes.
So
he's safe. He's set.
As you're just kind of watching, you notice the first caravan going a little bit faster than it was supposed to. Jen, you're a smuggler in this, so you're used to running caravans and this kind of shit, and you're just probably looking at this caravan like, dude, that's 20 miles over the fucking limit that you're supposed to go on a road like this. Just like, when you're watching something,
at the same time, I'm like, and you could be doing 50, you fucking pussies.
Yeah, and you're just like. You know when you're watching something and you know something horrible's about to happen and you just sigh and you just let it happen?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's just you eating your popcorn as the freaking horse...
The one wheel on the front of the wagon is starting to wobble and they haven't noticed. And it's about to fucking come off.
Yeah, they just run directly into a, freaking... kind of not spiked specifically, but there's like some roots and stuff that were kind of grown into the road magically, and it just snaps one of the horse's legs off, just completely. All the freaking carriages just start bashing into each other, and there's a lot of screaming, more screaming than there should be. Cargo. You hear a lot of screams from the caravan, and they just start screaming, "It's the fucking archer again! Goddamn!" Dead. Just one arrow right to the dude's skull as he's just like trying to get everyone on alert.
Okay. Did Ari see where the arrow came from?
You'd see.
And is there another guard near me?
No. You guys are pretty far into the back of the woods, but you guys could get a little bit closer if you wanted.
Okay.
You don't really. All you're seeing is the road. Ari, you kind of saw the generalized direction is like past the road, kind of towards the north, and you just saw for like a split second an arrow fly through that general area, hitting one guard in the head, instantly killing him.
She is gonna start just pelting in that direction very, very quietly though. Like she's a stealthy little thing, but yeah, she's
Can
heading
I
in that direction.
cast Pass Without Trace on the whole party before this
Mm.
encounter?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. So,
Okay.
I would say, like, as we're getting, like, as we start hearing the caravan approach, I'm gonna cast Pass Without Trace on. I gotta see how many people I can target with it. At second level. Here, I'll just link it real quick. Oh, so I can cast it on the entire party.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to cast it on the entire party to give us that +10 bonus of stealth.
Okay. So
Nice.
as you're trying to track down the ranger, each shot gives you kind of like a general idea because the arrows are whistling. So you're not able to
Mhm.
specifically see where it's originating from, but you know, you're an artificer, you're used to trajectories, you're used to like kind of math like that. So you're able to track him down pretty well with your dark vision.
Yay.
But you notice the areas like he's on the move constantly. Think like a horse archer, but a dude in a tree instead.
Is
So,
the noise that I sent the video fairly accurate for what the arrows are doing?
let me click
It
it
did
real quick.
not. Yeah, I didn't click on it yet, and now I want to. I gotta find it again.
Everybody go look.
Yo, that's accurate.
felt-
Yo, that's actually really kind of what I was thinking.
Like, I felt bad because like I was like, oh yeah, I'll say that, and then everybody started talking, and I was like, oh shit, I missed my chance to say that. When it comes up again, I'll say it.
That sounds
For
accurate.
like
Yeah.
30 minutes. I'm sorry.
No,
Like a Nerf
I
card
just
attached to an arrow.
basically. Oh,
Right?
my God. So
I felt bad because I posted that like 30 minutes ago, and I was like, oh, I'll just have to remind myself to say it. Totally didn't remind myself to say it.
I just
Oh
didn't.
god, I posted that an hour ago.
Yeah, I didn't click on it because I didn't know if it was gonna like say anything or whatever for the stream. But yeah, no, that's
Oh, no.
accurate as fuck. So
Yeah.
over the next like minute, you guys just basically see hellfire rain upon this caravan, just arrows whistling past, just headshot, 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 blood screaming, everyone's just dying on this caravan. Every 6 to 10 seconds, like 3 or 4 arrows just freaking shoot out and just shoot every fucking worker. Just complete massacre and carnage. However,
Ari is just gonna keep trying to catch up to this guy.
you're getting kind of close, but your legs are a little bit smaller, so you're having to kind of run on the floor, and you just kind of keep seeing trees rustling. So you get the general idea that
acrobatics, I could go up the trees.
would a goblin be able?
Yeah, they have a climb
My
tree.
acrobatics were ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, well hop on the trees then. I'm just still saying like you're slower than an elf, but you're able to
Yep.
kind of keep up. So he's keeping definite distance from you, because you're echo and you're having to like move around and stuff. But you're keeping a generalized idea of where he's at, and within about 5 minutes, the entire caravan's just obliterated. These are not well trained guards, and this is a guy who specializes in guerrilla warfare. It's just been a bloody massacre.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, though, he starts kind of going away from the caravan itself, which is a little odd. He'd probably, go try to open up the crates. But for some reason, he's not going over there, and you've noticed that your echo is getting farther and farther away from you guys. And as you're kind of looking around, you see an arrow whiz past your face, Ari. The echoes.
Dang.
The ranger does not know you, and he does not understand who you are, what you are, and he's just trying to maintain fucking distance. All he sees is a fucking goblin running through the fucking trees, trying to fucking get to him.
She is going to reach into her bag and pull out like a little white handkerchief and kind of wave it like, "Hey, dude, come on." Like, try to, show him like, I'm not trying to hurt you. We need to talk.
He kind of looks at it, and he keeps kind of running through the trees. Can you roll me an acrobatics check real quick, Ari?
I do not have my computer set up right now, so...
Moment.
Yeah.
Damn it. Stupid fucking... Remind me later. Stop trying to give me ads when I'm trying to actually click on something. Acrobatics, right?
Yeah, acrobatics.
Moment. Ari the Fisher. And acrobatics. She has a +10.
All right.
Oh.
All right. Ari, congratulations. You dodge a giant fucking tree swinging right at you. You just dodge completely over it. You know those oversized logs in those animes and those movies and shit? For the Shaolin monk training? Yeah. You just see it kind of coming at you and you just like hop right over it.
Yeah.
Or is she too short and she runs right under it?
True. Understandable.
It was set up for a normal sized person. She just runs right under it. She just kind of like bring her ears down a little bit so they don't scratch.
Oh my god, that's even
that was
better.
Acrobatics for the ears.
Hey, it counts.
Oh my gosh. So you're just running through the woods, and he keeps shooting arrows, but more like kind of like at your feet, just to kind of slow you down. He's not trying to kill you, because he saw the white flag, obviously. But
how far are we from the actual caravan now?
I'd say you're like about 80.
We're a decent distance.
Yeah,
right?
I'd say about like 100 to 200 feet, give or take. He's kind of moving around. Huh?
Everybody from that group is already dead, correct?
Yeah. All the bad guys are dead.
Okay, well, she's going to start actually like hollering at him, like, "Wait, we need to talk."
So,
Alright.
where's Jin in all this?
I was assuming you guys were all just kind of chilling by the caravan, just kind of watching the caravan.
So,
and gonna probably let the
we were
kids
like
out.
in the shadows, right?
Yeah, you guys were in the shadows. Dude, that's exactly how I imagine Ari right now.
So I just want to stand up and just start slow clapping.
Alright. So... do y'all want to let the kids out, or
would like
what?
to do one other thing. That's exactly what I was about to say. He would try to go right to the boxes, and then slowly pop tops off them so the kids aren't panicking.
Yeah, I was like,
Half of them are upside down.
yeah. You just see a lot of snot, a lot of crying. Sorry,
Kids
but
being
not
pulled
like
out by their
immediately,
feet.
like break them open quickly, like literally breaking it open so they're like, okay, not sensory overload, just give them a little bit of time to breathe.
Yeah. You crack open each crate. 3 of the crates were children, and the rest of it's like food and some luxury goods for the wealthy assholes in the industry.
Torrin would like to put the nice goods just into his bag for some reason.
Yeah, in his bag, just.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
Could Torden be on the lookout for a big shiny rock for Ori to get her little homunculus thing?
What kind of rock?
A big shiny rock.
It had to be like
Shiny.
a big crystal or gem to get my homunculus serpent made.
Okay. I'll have to look into that, but yeah, he can start looking into that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
There might be one in that stuff, so worth a try.
Yeah. You just kind of grab all the like fancy nice goods into the bag of holding, and the kids are a little bit shaken now, but it's been a couple minutes. They're kind of breathing. They're all kind of staying on one side of the crate. Torty, you are a very large guy in armor, just kind of hovering over a crate of children. Would you like to say anything to calm down the children, or would you like to let someone else do that for you?
Or give them a bunch of candy.
Yeah.
Exactly what I was about to do, because you know that I was a cook, and you know, Torton is okay. Ironically, Torton has really good charisma,
Yeah.
Yep.
so Torton would just
Like the
pop
big
open the
friendly
box,
giant. Aw.
hand them candy, and go, wait there, I'll be back, and like just make sure that all the kids are okay first,
Aww.
and then like put all the crates together, and then talk to them. So just giving them a little bit of like, okay, there's candy. Nobody's after us. We have enough time to look around. We just can't exit the box. Like, give them a little bit of like time to like recover for a moment.
Yeah.
So
before he speaks
while
to them.
Torden's doing this, I want to like, I'm assuming I like fly over or walk over, depending on how far I am away. And I just want to be like, you guys want to see a cool tree house? And I want to cast Rope Trick and let them all go up inside my Rope Trick to keep them safe.
Okay. A lot of the kids are really hesitant at first, but when Torton gives them the candy, you know, you get the giant lollipops. You know, Torton just has like the all the supplies for the kids just prepped and ready. You know, candy of all types, lollipops, specific branded stuff from Ramsey of the Gourd. You know,
Yep.
top quality candy and stuff, and all the kids are kind of smiling, and they're slowly kind of trying to lift up the on the rope, but they're not really strong. They're children. They like kind of ages around. They look around. The youngest are like 6, and the oldest is about like 12, maybe 13. You know, these are young kids. And they're not
I assume
really.
I like go up first and then I like hang down,
Yeah.
like using my feet to like hold on. I like hang down and like spread my wings apart and do like some weird silly faces to try to get them to calm down.
They're a little bit spooked because you're a tiefling, but you know they start kind of laughing because you're not being harmful. You're being helpful, and they kind of start playing along after a couple minutes of coercion.
And I just want to get them up into the rope trick so they're safe.
All right. A couple of them are a little stubborn, but all it takes is, you know, a little bit of candy, a little pat on the head, and just a little drag.
Toward throwing them in.
Listen, if the kids aren't gonna listen,
like grabbing the most stubborn one and just kind of lifting them up,
shoving them in.
Go.
It's like, go in, it's safe. You don't have to like me right now. I'm just keeping you away from the slavers.
I would like to think that Torton would do that. Just like all of them are going up. There's that one stubborn one. He just grabs him by the belt and by the scruff of the neck and just yeets him into it. Like, all right. And all of a sudden, everybody starts cooperating again.
Yeah. So it takes you a couple minutes, but everyone gets into the rope trick. Very single file line type shit. So, I'm cutting back to Ari. Just Lightsmith, could you roll one more acrobatics check for Ari real quick for me?
Of course.
I'm just imagining Ari having like a little montage of being a fucking ninja right now.
Huffing and puffing
So
and just
are
like,
we taking with
grab a
advantage
legs.
or not?
I'm gonna say both happen because I had 4 traps originally planned. So what I'm thinking is Ari's just freaking dodging all this stuff, and then just the echo gets shot in the leg, but it's not enough to like cause the echo to fade out entirely. But like, okay, you know those traps with all the arrows when you get into like a dungeon or whatever.
oh god.
So
she's now muttering curses in Goblin.
Yeah, your echo's leg, you know, just bumps into one of the tripwires in the trees, and it just shoots the echo like a freaking porcupine with the with the arrows, but it's just enough to keep you alive right now. And the drow finally turns around and just kind of looks at your echo, a little confused, because, you know, you'd assume that, you know, after getting lit up by all this shit, it would, you know, die or be in a lot of pain and screaming, but, you know, it's an echo. I assume it doesn't really feel anything, right?
She doesn't feel any of it really from the echo, so.
Okay. So, the drow kind of looks over and kind of points over to, like, one of the other traps, so you kind of jump over it real quick, and he stops. And he's just kind of a little confused why this porcupine is just standing there like there's no blood or anything. Just, like, a little confused.
She just yells again, like, need to talk to you.
Just, like, waving the
Trying
white...
to save those kids.
He kind of looks at you and kind of, like, lets the bow kind of sling down to his side. Seeing that you're not hostile, he knew you weren't really hostile, but he didn't really trust you. And even still, he don't trust you, but you did dodge a lot of his traps. And you also are a porcupine right now. He doesn't really understand the echo type shit. He just, like, assumes, like, you have a really high pain tolerance.
She starts kind of plucking whatever arrows she can off of her so she can move a little better.
Yeah.
And just shuffles over, muttering, stupid arrows, damn it. Not this again. We need to talk to you. We're trying to help.
He looks down and he's like, what do you mean you're trying to help? You're just a foreigner.
We have a plan to stop this. But we need your help too.
He kind of looks around and he says, how many are there? How many of you?
Small group. Let me think. We've got Ari, Torden, Jin, Narsa. That's all we have with our group right now.
Yeah,
right?
then Swain, and then Udabrosk was gonna help. And
okay,
then,
so we've got
it's like 7 or 8,
6
give or
at the
take.
moment.
About 7 or 8, yeah.
Okay.
And
about 10.
Besides goblins, not many. Like half a dozen.
He kind of looks around and he's like, I mean, I guess I'd be okay talking, maybe.
Can you get the kids out of here?
Yeah, that would only take about
If
30
we-
minutes.
Okay, if we help you get the kids out of here, will you talk with us?
He takes a deep breath and he
And
just
Artie
kind of
knows
nods.
that the kids are up in the Echo knows that the kids are up in the rope trick right now, right?
I would assume.
So, with what she's doing right now, her body is basically helpless and unaware there.
Oh, okay.
But
So
she can go back
like,
to it in an instant.
but she doesn't
So
know what's
she-
happening around her.
Yeah, she's not going to
So she
hear
doesn't
what's going
know
on.
that we already
around
have
her
the
body.
kids up in a rope trick. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it.
Okay.
But Ari
Nice.
basically holds out her hand to the ranger and basically says, "Promise, listen at least."
He
Like basically reaching out for a handshake.
he reaches out a little pinky just to kind of like do a little pinky promise with you.
She grabs it with her whole hand and shakes it,
Yeah.
and then disappears and goes back to her body.
So
Cancels out her echo.
about 5 minutes later.
And-
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, and she pokes her head out of Torden's bag and says, "Okay, he'll talk to us."
All
He
right.
climbs out and starts helping.
All right. So about 5 minutes later, you you see him just kind of come out of the bushes with his bow kind of slinged on his back. And hold on, I have an image for it real quick for the group chat. Forgot which one I was gonna use. Right, I was gonna do this one to start. This is his. Fuck, I did not mean to hit save. I meant to hit copy.
I just saw that.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
that's exactly how I imagined it too. All right, so you see this drow ranger guy walk out of the bushes in very, typical edgy drow, I'm gonna murder you attire. I'm gonna probably give him an owl because I think that'd be really cool, but still, ignore that. Ignore the
with
owl.
him doing this at night, especially, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, he probably has an owl companion, but it's not really important right now. He kind of walks over and he looks in the crates and he's like, "Where are the kids?"
Ari points at the rope and just tells him, "Safe place, in case you don't want to help."
And I popped down out of the rope trick at that point because I was up there entertaining the kids, like making silly faces, and, doing dumb shit.
I think Ari would basically like whistle or something like, "Okay, hey guys, he's here." Yeah.
All right. He's just trying to kind of look at the party right now. He's not really saying much. You see him kind of a little nervous because he clearly doesn't associate with people very often.
Ari already talked to him, so she's gonna kind of stomp around and keep the others back, and she'll, kind of be between him and them.
Okay.
Because he already agreed to her to talk, so
yeah.
she's gonna kind of assume that role for a minute.
Okay. He's like, so we need to get the kids back to that tavern. That's the only place here that I trust. So
sounds like a plan.
It's a little bit of a walk, but you guys could probably figure something out to get the kids a little bit there quicker or whatever. He normally just walks the kids because he doesn't really have anything to like do transport. He doesn't have a horse. He doesn't have anything. He just is a nomad in the woods.
Yeah, Ari can be kind of stomping along on the ground and just like scampering to keep up. Torden could give the smaller kids piggyback rides.
Yeah. So after about an hour, you guys are able to, successfully bring most of the kids back there. A couple of them were a little longer to get back, but, Jin would probably stay back and, kind of cheer them up or whatever, and then, to finish bringing them back within about an hour or two.
They might come back. Their pupils might be a little more dilated than they were before, but...
Hey, whatever to mellow them out, right?
Yeah.
Hey, sedatives
they're very chill.
can actually help.
Very chill.
Tord is carrying like all the kicking and screaming ones, and freaking Jin's carrying, the like half-baked freaking exhausted kids. Like, the flowers are really pretty.
The flowers taste like caramel.
Why does purple smell so good?
Jin's like, I just fed them some mushrooms. That's all I did. They were supposed to relax.
On the list. They were on the list.
Yeah. All I read was mushrooms. I thought they'd taste nice. So,
yeah.
The tavern keeper Ibeck just opens the door very, quietly, looks around, sees it's you guys and the kids, and, it's kind of, in the back, we got food, blankets, whatever, lets all the kids inside. The tavern gets very messy very quickly, as, there's now, like, 35, 40 children just tired, depressed, scared, and high.
In varying degrees of all of the above.
Exactly. So, you guys finally have the kids at a safe spot. You guys are able to take a breather, and the Drow Ranger kind of sits down at the tavern keep, and he just kind of goes, hi, thanks for helping out over the years. And just kind of scratches the back of his head, and finally stops being a little bit emo and drops the freaking hood and just kind of, reveals, yes, he is a drow. And he looks around at the party, and he kind of looks at Nars's shirt a little bit, a little confused, and he goes, "Narsa?"
Canadisil. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's you're alive.
Of course I'm alive. What, did you think I was just gonna keel over and die without letting you know it?
He just kind of nods, and he's like, "I've sent letters for years. It's the only time that I went into town. Like, did none of them get to you, or?"
Well, just say I didn't exactly have time to read them, and more recent letters were because, well, we'll get into that later.
He nods. He's a little more trusting now since Nars is around. Um, doesn't really trust you guys, but if y'all are companions of Narza, he's a lot less on edge. And he just looks at Ibeck and he's like, "Cider," and starts downing it.
I want to, like, before he takes the cider, I want to, like, pause on that, and then I pull out my flask of the good shit.
Ibeck smirks and he's like, "Why not both?" So Dessel and Ibeck are drinking with Jen. Is there anything else y'all want to do with, like, the children, or with, like, any plans or whatever?
Ari is going to talk to a few of her minions and tell them where that arrow trap was, and send them to go retrieve all the arrows that had shish kebabbed her.
Okay. So
I mean, why not?
yeah, they're
Like,
arrows.
They poked me, they're mine now.
Are any of the kids hurt or in any way?
No. Luckily, this shipment is, like, before they get sold. So this is kind of like their processing part. Is they source the kids, they send it to the first warehouse. This is coming from the first warehouse, and it's being sold to the main exporting facility to be sold to, like, other islands or lords or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So. And most of them are unscathed, obviously, some bruises and stuff from, the caravan crashing, but nothing major, and no mental scarring has happened to these ones. The other camp
really
might not be
bad
so
stuff
lucky.
Hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're unfucked.
Yeah! In both ways! God,
Yeah.
that was so fucking bad on Island 2. Well, yeah, no, these kids are okay. A little spooked, but they just assumed some weird shit was happening, and just, for some reason they were put in the back of a thing. Most of the younger kids don't really understood what happened. Only, like, the oldest, like, 12, 13-year-olds kind of really understood, and are definitely a little more fucked up in the head, Their parents sold them off, or they got taken from their parents, or, Crazy thing is that you can either sell the kids off, or have your kids taken and then get shot. It's great. It's a great deal. Either you sell your kids for a gold, for for a silver, or you get shot and then I take your kids. It's great business.
Yeah.
So yeah. Really fucked up. Let me read real quick. Double checking if I have any more plot points prepped. We already got past that part. Also, Narsa, I just had something that I thought would be really kind of funny of Dessel kind of turning around and seeing Swain in the corner and just making a kind of offhanded joking comment of, Narza, I guess, you've gotten really comfortable with the drows, and just kind of points over at Swain, because he's a half drow. Because, you don't see a lot of drows, so seeing 2 drows in a room is kind of odd.
Well, he's half drow technically, and he's kind of with us on his own kind of quest.
He nods. He's like, I just don't see many of my kind around, so just interesting to see that. He looks around the tavern, a little anxious, and he's like, can I like go to sleep for the night? It's just usually after these missions I go back to my camp, but
Sure. Hey, barkeep, do you have any open rooms left?
Ibeck nods and just kind of sends him to the top floor and just like pick a room, whatever room. And do you want him to be called Decil or Diesel? By the way,
Decil.
Decil. Okay. Decil just kind of walks upstairs and just kind of shuts one of the doors and just kind of breathes a sigh of relief and kind of goes to his bed. So, Ibeck's just chilling at the tavern, like kind of bar, and you see him kind of just sharpening one of his axes and just kind of smirking. He's like, "Ugh, I don't like fighting very much. That's why I left the military, but killing some fuckers sounds nice. If anyone comes near this tavern, they're dead." And just kind of sharpening up his axe. So, in game, is there anything else you would like to do, or would you like to have the party go to sleep and kind of get ready to end the session, or what else? I know it's a little bit on the shorter end, but I was kind of planning around 2-ish hours. I didn't. Also, we sped a little bit differently, but I liked it. I have a couple things real quick.
I was gonna say I'm good as long as we can take some time to work out the plan for the next attack.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
how do you
Yeah,
say
that
his
sounds
name?
good to me.
The new ranger. How do you say his name?
Decil.
Decil. Yeah, as long as we can work out some time with Decil to figure out a good plan of attack, because obviously he's amazing at this and has been doing it for a while.
Yeah. Okay.
But we need to take the attack from the caravans to the supply chains.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I was just kind of asking, do you want to do that next session or this session, or like the attack? I was assuming it was going to happen like next session, but do you want to like kind of plan the attack out now or wait for next session?
I would say wait for next session. That way it's fresh in our minds.
Okay. That's what I was thinking, but I just want to check. So, is there anything else you guys would like to do this session?
We're gonna party hard in that tavern.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Y'all are getting drunk as shit. All the kids are just kind of going and chilling in one of the back rooms.
Oh, I'm giving the kids like nippers. Like,
And I'm assuming
I'm
assuming that Decil also notices the markings that I got from the trials.
He would have kind of noticed, but he mostly just kind of saw it for a second, just kind of went to his room and went to sleep, because normally the session was originally going to end with y'all chasing him into the forest and then doing this kind of stuff next session, so I kind of pre-ordered it, but that's how D&D goes. It was freaking fun as shit. Decil normally would have just kind of gone back to his camp, and y'all would have just had him be really depressed for a bit.
Anyway, I'll see you guys next week.
Alright, sounds good.
Sounds good.
Ari has her
Sounds good.
minions like getting everything that isn't nailed down from that caravan, so.
Oh, 100%.
Is REI left?
Is there anything else y'all wanted to ask or do in this session, like specifically to like Ibeck or Swain or
Ibeck know anything about where the information he is receiving is coming from? Like, are we sure this is good information?
He would just give you kind of a smirk, and he's like, he kind of taps the desk in Thieves' Cant and gives you a little smirk.
Okay. I'm just trying to make sure that, like, we didn't fuck up.
No. He's got his own network. He's in between
Children
everything.
being shipped in boxes is kind of hard to misconstrue.
Yeah.
Yes, but are we helping somebody who may not be with the most proper intentions? And like, as soon as he does that, I instantly relax.
Yeah,
Like,
I bet he was a soldier for a few years, but he left because he didn't like a lot of the hypocrisy in the
Senseless
politics.
fighting?
So
that's exactly why I got out of the Coast Guard.
yeah, so Ibeck was originally going to kind of go a little more into his lore this session, but basically over the night he basically just describes his time in the military as he's an ex-town guard, kind of like what Nars's parents were. He had the potential to kind of go up in the ranks, but after about 4 or 5 years in the main military force, he retired to be a town guard instead for another year or two before completely leaving, before Frelnor's reign. Is basically, that was actually going to be at the beginning of the session, but we handled it a little bit differently. Basically, though, he describes that the reason he left was Frelnor's business started kind of booming. He wasn't originally just like selling children and stuff. Frelnor worked with a lot of different types of businesses and rose to a lot of power within his own clan. And when that stuff started happening, more and more influence from one of the largest businesses on the island, you start getting some shady tasks, and you start getting sent into lobbying battles. You know, the military goes out and clears out a warring clan. Well, that warring clan was just trying to protect their land of resources Frelnor wanted. Rinse and repeat. Guy leaves. Typical story of war. Armies aren't usually anymore about the people. It's just whoever has the biggest wallet and can convince the nation to fight for them.
Yep.
So, the Royals were nice, though, to him. He was able to leave without any problems, got, honorable discharge, and got a small plot of land, and that's why he's able to keep prices so low. So he already had the tavern completely paid off before the Royals got fucked over by Frelnor. Lo and behold, who would have thought Mr. Shady Child Trafficker would, be a bad guy, right? But,
I mean, who'd have thunk it?
Yeah. I mean, sure, it was a little more subtle over the years, but basically, the way I like the fact that I'm kind of running it is, it's already been done. It's already been fucked up for years. Like, this is not a subtle, change in power. The power shift is completely different. On Island 1, we had the precursor to an island takeover by a company. This one's already been in effect for, 2-3 decades, almost. Slowly, but in the past, decade, it's gotten 100 times worse. So that's just the kind of stuff that Ibeck would be telling you guys. Is he has his tavern, and running a tavern, you got to pick up some thieves' cant. You deal with some unsavory individuals, but as long as they're not hurting kids, he doesn't really care.
Yeah,
I forget the term, but when you're like, okay, if they're an adult, they can do whatever the fuck they want. I forget the specific political term, but not anarchist, but basically, if you're an adult and you can buy it with money, who the fuck cares? As long as it's not hurting the child, basically. Do your drugs, do your alcohol, do your whatever. Doesn't matter. Do your weird shady dealings in your territory gang wars, as long as it's outside of his fucking bar.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk shop in the bar, he don't care. But if something gets bloody, you're paying.
Yeah.
Do we have to pay for the sheets from all the blood from?
Oh no, that's
Ari?
free. That was free.
Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, no. Ari's little blood spray was fair game. It was just like if
do
it
I
was
need
like,
to give him a little extra gold?
Oh no, he's good. That gold would have equivalently paid for his entire rent for 6 months if he was paying rent. He doesn't have to
And
pay rent.
please, for the love of God, don't tell Akeem about it until we get back. Like, yeah, Harry spent some gold in the tavern out of the ship's coffers.
Yeah.
I mean, we were, funding the return of these kids, right?
Yeah, Hakeem would 100% be down for that.
Yeah, that's not how this started, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
we
he's not here
tell
yet,
it
and we can tell him that
backwards.
later.
We tell the story backwards.
This started with Jin deciding to have a fucking binger.
A binger before heading to the main city, and it's like, oh, there's some children being trafficked. Guess we're not going to the capital yet.
Nope. Gotta put this on pause, and we gotta deal with some shit.
Yeah. But hey, it all leads back to Frelnor, guys. Oh my god, it's so convenient that the plot just happens to work that way. God. Oh.
Yeah, Raven, I'm sending you a link for the thing that is why I want a big shiny rock.
Okay.
So, I actually had sent you the picture of the little, like, mechanical looking mouse rat thing.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cute. I love it. It's adorable.
It is. And I mean, it's not gonna go out and fight battles for us, but if we get tied up somewhere, it could nibble through a rope or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
So.
my god, wait, I realized, I know how the raid's gonna happen next session. I know, I've been planning this mentally for months. I just realized this sets it up for exactly what I wanted.
Nice.
Oh, fuck.
What?
Hey, at least I
That's
came up
two
with a cool
totally
idea for how to
different
make it work.
experiences with DMs right there.
What?
One says nice and the other one says fuck.
And
Hey,
I'm
I'm
over
just
here
happy
going,
that I
oh,
had a
this
good
is
idea for a
fascinating.
change.
I loved the idea.
I have ideas. They aren't good ideas, but they're ideas.
I had a general idea that you guys were gonna, like, do this. I did not expect this is how that was gonna happen, though. I did not expect put the goblins in the back and then sneak in and then do the stealth and then turn it into Russian stealth. Like, bro, did not expect it to be going like that, but holy shit, I love it.
I mean, I found it funny that I didn't have to do my idea, which is probably a good idea. Torden was going to have somebody paint just the center of his breastplate red. And get on the caravan.
Giant target.
He gets hit. As soon as he gets hit, he just starts clubbing all the other guards over the head.
You probably would have been able to do it because you guys are so strong. You guys get to walk in and just murder everyone.
Well,
I was going to say,
just
like,
a
at our
great-
level, a normal person is basically a child.
Yeah, the only people that they're not is basically Narza and you. That's it. But that's because you have the wheat killer, so you have a sickle that that would kill a normal person, but any trained soldier, you have to put in a little work. Narza has to put in a little work. Everyone else, you just shoot them in the face and they just instantly die. They just explode.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about how funny that would have been. Just
Russian stealth.
immediately, very good stealth archers sitting there. Oh, we're doing this. And you just see Torn just immediately start killing everything around him. And just wondering what that one drow is thinking, like, that was a normal arrow, right? That wasn't like a berserk arrow? Which arrow did I shoot again? And then Torn just sit back down and go, hi, I don't know where you are, but hi, we're here to help. And so all you guys are coming with really good ideas, and I'm like, my idea was incredibly in character.
Oh, 100%. See, I originally was gonna have you guys, like, stake out the caravan, and then he was gonna shoot the caravan out, and then y'all were gonna have to chase him through the woods and the traps or whatever, and then everyone was gonna have to make acrobatics and athletics saves and stuff, and then you were gonna end up at his
already
cap.
becomes a pincushion.
Well, I at least got to have the traps hit someone.
Yeah.
True, because I was just gonna fly over them.
Yeah, true.
Like, there's a reason why I don't mind taking point, because I have a fly speed, so if shit gets hinky, I can just boop, pop up
Yeah.
30 feet and fuck right off.
I mean, it's even safer for Ari, though, because, okay, they hit her hard enough to take out her echo. Well, you know, she basically startles awake.
Mm.
Big whoop. So.
I didn't
Still
realize the
think that's
echo
funny.
could manipulate things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was more like a mage hand. I didn't realize the echo was more like almost like an unseen servant, but seen.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a scene
can you
servant.
fight?
Yes, it can shoot. It can do anything
Yeah.
that she can do, only it has 1 HP, and it can actually move. Okay, technically, if you want to get into it, it doesn't actually need to stand on anything. It has 30 feet when it's a normal one. So it has 30 feet of movement and isn't beholden to gravity.
Okay.
Yep.
Doesn't
and then
need to
the
breathe,
avatar.
doesn't need to do anything. So think of it as an illusion that can actually attack.
Yep.
And is that your artificer that's giving you that?
Nope. That is my fighter class.
Oh, the fighter class. Okay.
Yeah. It's a specialization subclass
Nice.
thingy.
Nice.
So.
Very nice.
I broke a game the last time I played one, and
I do
Fly
that
was
quite a
actually
bit.
like in on that one, so he got to see me break the game. And then
Where
he
did our other
created my.
kobold go? Is he even still alive?
Are you talking about Aldvir's character?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where Aldvir's been. Honestly, I haven't really been worrying too much. Like, it was always kind of fun when he'd do, like, the weird little gags and stuff, but, like, I didn't really ever have much lore done with his character, so it's not, like, a complete loss.
I know. It was just kind of one of those moments where it was like, I kind of miss that character. I made him so well.
I know.
He
Honestly,
was probably one of the most broken characters.
Oh, 100%.
I would dare say he is probably the most broken thing I've ever thrown in a D&D game. And I felt kind of bad about it up until I realized he didn't know how to use the character.
Dude, every time that I saw, like, the way you built the character, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so glad he doesn't know how to use him right.
That's literally what I'm doing for this buddy of mine's campaign that we're about to start. This is his first time DMing ever. And I'm like, oh fuck. Like, do I min-max? Do I not? Do I... Because...
This is...
He literally let me go wild. It's a level 1 character, and I can do whatever I want. Any class, any subrace, anything. And I'm like, I'm already at level 1, and I have 9 fucking prepared spells.
This was my first time DMing, but I also had about a year's experience before you entered the campaign, so I'm good.
Yeah.
I prefer to DM only because with my ADHD,
He has a god complex.
That and with my ADHD, I'm really good at just like taking whatever happens and spinning it into a story. It's just I need to record it so I can recount it.
I just record it so that I can not have to remind myself 24/7. And I just
exactly.
take, like,
you just
little
go back and
notes.
listen to it real quick, and you're like, okay, I can play with this. I can play with this. I can play with this.
Yeah.
And then
I've not needed yet to watch it back yet, but at the same time, I plan on doing that eventually whenever I want to turn this into, like, a book or whatever. And, you know, obviously tweak some of the plot points a bit for, you know, the adaptation, because, you know, it's an adaptation, but, you know.
Smoother storytelling.
Yeah, smoother storytelling, less of my brain being a goober, forgetting that Trad was not Trent. I remember calling him Trent so many times at the end of the session, and then Ari had to be like, damn, I guess she's a cheater. I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, you called him Trent. I'm like, fuck.
I caught what happened, and I wasn't gonna point it out, just because I know how hard it is to keep like little nuances like that straight.
It was so funny though.
The reason I pointed it out was there was a moment where it would be funny to say so.
Yes, and it would have been
made it
great.
so funny. It was so freaking
Especially
funny.
if somehow Jin was Trent.
Yeah.
It would have been just a fun little fight.
Oh my god.
I was just over here seeing Jin sit there and go, okay, I need alternate personality of Trent. Puts on hat backwards and just puts 2 branches sticking out of the hat.
Oh no, they'd be in my
my
ear.
god.
In my ears.
Oh my god, that is so fucking
True.
funny.
In
And,
my
like, that's
ears with like a wreath of leaves that I made to like put around myself like a scarf.
Oh my
Like,
god.
I have a chance, Patricia, and I'm like formulating all sorts of shit like she's drunk enough that maybe if I look like a tree, she's gonna fuck me.
Oh my god, that's amazing. See,
followed by
shit.
Patricia looking at him and going, where's your vine?
And then just instant depression.
Now, see, what's amusing to me is like I actually did not create my own character for this.
That's what I'm doing with Mandy right now with the campaign we're about to start. Is she doesn't necessarily want to create a character, but she wants to play, so I'm working on creating a character with a joint backstory.
Yeah.
Well, you know why Jordan chose Echo Knight then. Wait, what?
Yeah.
I mean, he literally created my character to be like the one who made his prosthetic leg because he lost a leg early on.
Yeah. That is gonna
He
cause a
didn't lose
little
it, he
bit of
knew
a
exactly where it was.
that is gonna cause a bit of a retcon, because I originally had a character who was the artificer who made the leg, so I'm gonna have to rework
Well,
her.
then, you know,
Yeah.
he needed someone who could do maintenance.
Oh
on it.
yeah. I did introduce her beforehand, but she only has been in one scene. She is gonna come back eventually.
Yeah. But I mean, either way, he needed like traveling maintenance.
Yeah,
for
you
this
need
thing.
traveling maintenance, you need an artificer to repair it. It won't cause many issues. I honestly say that's the only plot. I was like, shit, no! The retcon! Fuck, how do I write her back into the story?
No, he
The
got
best
it on.
part was, I wrote Ari's character, and you just didn't see it for a little bit, and then you're like, oh my god, I missed it.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it was just funny, because you're like, oh, because like, I sent it to you, and it was like mid-game, and you're like, what do you want the character? I was like, oh, I'll do this. Sent you all the information, and then you were like, oh, I had this. And you started using it, and then you looked, and you're like, oh, I see the information. My bad.
Oh.
And you're like,
I completely
Either
forgot.
way, like,
we're fine.
I
It's
had this
simple
whole
enough.
plan. I had this whole
it's
plan.
simple enough
Sorry.
for him to have gotten the prosthetic when it first happened. Move on, go to the next place, get in the next fight, and oh hey, a bolt fell out or something.
Yeah.
Oh shit, what do you do? Well, the only decent artificer in town is this weird little goblin.
Yeah. Cause
Okay, you're hired.
didn't we like pick you up around Torden's Island?
Yes.
Yeah, so it would be perfectly fine and reasonable that would happen, because we got him the prosthetic at the third island. Because I remember specifically the third island, because I have a plot point about what happened on the third island that you guys don't know about yet with that artificer, and it was really freaking funny. Like, you're gonna eventually hear it, and it's just gonna be really funny to me.
Well, it's like I've been tinkering with her backstory at least like talking a lie, and then in my head, okay,
Yeah.
well, where'd she come from? How'd she get there? And she just, traveling around trying to learn new stuff, got to that island, and yeah, Goliaths aren't really very interested in this little, like, 3 foot tall little nothing of a goblin, no matter what she can do.
Yeah.
So she was having trouble getting out of there.
I think the funniest
Like-
thing. Sorry.
Just to move on and go somewhere else. And then he comes along like, hey, can you fix this? Yeah. And she ends up just running off with him like, okay, cool, it gets me out of here. Awesome.
Yeah. I like on the frickin' island though when on Torden's Island, when y'all would enter like the dojos or whatever. I know y'all weren't, or I think Ari might have been there at that point. But with the frickin' dojos or whatever, with frickin' my brain's
Oh,
racing.
yeah.
With Hakeem and Narza, and back when my dad was playing with us, having frickin' Despera with them, and just like describing that everyone's looking at y'all as like, why the fuck are like a bunch of really skinny people here? Like, it's really confusing to the Goliath's brain. It was just like walking into like Gold's gym as like a freaking CrossFitter.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like they were mean or bad. It just was like confused looks at what the fuck, as everyone's like bench pressing like 405 for their like warm up set.
Yeah. And
The
being like
thing
a little,
that does make me the happiest about that entire thing is that Torden is a little Goliath.
Yeah. Most Goliaths are like 12, or in my eyes, I think of a Goliath as 12 feet tall. I know that's not accurate. I know it's more like 8 to 10. But I just always like the idea that a Goliath is like 1.5 humans versus like, a little bit taller. So.
Yeah. Just picturing Torden as the scrawny one is just always great in my mind.
You're scrawny, but you know where to hit.
Yes. Torden is just a smart Goliath, which is hilarious because he still isn't very smart.
Listen,
The smartest of the Goliaths.
They specialize in bro science. They're like, listen, if you eat 30 eggs a day, you'll grow. But it has to be raw.
30 eggs a day and you hit a person in the spine, they stop moving.
Exactly. Now, how those two correlate, it doesn't really make sense. But they understand those two things are true. I will always laugh at the fact that Swain got his ass handed to him by just an average freaking Goliath on that island.
Oh yeah, just because it was the wrong fighting style.
Yeah. Swain's like, I'm gonna cut you with the swords. I'm this badass, edgy swordsman guy that y'all are gonna think is badass. Just get freaking thrown out the fucking dojo. Just beaten and bruised. See, he'd win if he had sharp weapons. But this is a bludgeoning, and this is a safe training match where he's fighting a barbarian. They don't need sharp weapons. Because you know damn well Swain would have walked in there just trying to be like, yeah, give me your strongest fighter, just get rocked by, like, the freaking new guy.
Can confirm that has happened many times. Oh, I know what I'm doing. Whack!
Listen, I'm a big guy. I think I could hold my own if it was against an untrained person, because I understand the concept of fighting, but I've never been in an actual fight. I'm just a big guy, and I know I could hit kind of hard and then try to slam someone's head into a wall. Which isn't really fighting, but it's like,
I can say with 100% certainty there is a total difference in fighting somebody who knows how to fight and fighting somebody who is just drunk and stupid.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, it is night and day, because like when you see somebody who knows how to fight and they start squaring up, you start questioning things. But when you see the drunk, stumbling idiot, and you're like, I'm gonna hit him once, and this motherfucker is going to be down.
No. The best one is when you see a drunk person, they square up to you, and you just take a really fast step towards them and just slide in, get inside their range, and they just stumble backwards and fall over, and you're like,
That was easy.
I mean,
I didn't even get to hit anybody.
when the fat guy grabs you. We played this game.
I'm the
there
fat
when
guy.
that happened.
My hands.
I was there,
Do
and
not-
then the fat guy grabbed you, which was me.
Oh
Because I
no!
thought you were gonna fucking smash this dude apart.
Oh yeah. It was just great because you just saw me just take a step forward. Then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I am 6 inches off the ground.
Yeah.
Ooh.